Yair Rodriguez is supposedly getting the next title shot in the featherweight division, and quite frankly, this just makes me mad. This just makes my blood boil, and this is disgusting. This is complete BS, and the UFC needs to do something about this, because I don't know how they're allowing this to actually happen. It is a joke. The company right now sucks. We have no UFC this weekend, and the week after that, we're finally going back to the Apex to see Macy Barber take on Erin Blanchfield. Oh man, that's going to be a complete war. It is a disgusting disgrace of a product right now. The UFC sucks, yet we're all still going to watch it because we're brainwashed into watching it. And now Yair Rodriguez is getting a title shot against Alexander Volkanovski for the second time, all because UFC 320 needs a main event in Mexico. Movsar Evloev is being snubbed. That is a simple and only way to put it. Movsar Evloev has worked his way up the rankings, fair and square. He's beaten top of the top guys. He's picked up wins over guys like Aljamain Sterling, literally a former champion. He's picked up wins over Arnold Allen. He's picked up wins over Diego Lopez, the guy who literally just fought for a title. He fought for a title before Movsar Evloev. You know, I can understand that, but at least give Movsar Evloev the very next title shot for that. Not have Yair Rodriguez get a title shot. And we'll talk about why Yair Rodriguez is getting a title shot a little bit later on in this video. But I want to talk about how the UFC just completely hates Movsar Evloev because it makes no sense. You know, the narrative with Movsar Evloev. Oh, he's a boring fighter. He doesn't get finishes. And, well, that may be true. He can't really get a finish. But he always puts on good fights. Movsar Evloev, his last fight, you look at it. UFC 309 against Aljamain Sterling. An absolute classic in terms of grappling exchanges. In terms of grappling, I think this is one of the best fights that I've ever seen. Pure grappling, this fight was an absolute war. It was back and forth. The scrambles in this fight were so entertaining, and it was just a banger of a fight. The fight before that, he fought Arnold Allen, and what was a war, dude. Arnold Allen and Movsar Evloev went to war. It was a super close fight, nail to nail, and Movsar Evloev got it done. Before that, Movsar Evloev took a fight on short notice against Diego Lopez and beat Diego Lopez. You know, I understand it was on short notice for Diego Lopez too, but still, dude, Movsar Evloev also took that fight on short notice. You gotta understand that too. And for some reason, he's not getting a title shot. He's not getting a title shot because the UFC hates him. The UFC thinks he's a boring fighter. The UFC knows that he's not marketable. Why sign him to the UFC if you're not going to give him a title shot? Why sign these guys? Why go on the regional scene and scout these guys if they're going to go on a 10-fight winning streak in your company just for you not to give them a title shot? What's the point? What is the point anymore? Movsar Evloev should be fighting for a title. It's a shame he's not, but it's because of one man, and that man is Yair Rodriguez. Yair Rodriguez, apparently the UFC promised this man a title shot. I don't know how true that is. I mean, obviously it is pretty true because he's pretty much fighting Volkanovski. It's pretty much almost confirmed for UFC 320. And it's going to take place in Guadalajara, Mexico. So the UFC desperately needs a main event, and they need a Mexican to obviously be in the main event. But I don't understand. Why go to Mexico if you do not have a Mexican fighter? I'm a Mexican myself, and I think it is so stupid to go to the country if you're going to give us a stupid fight like this. You got to look at it like this. Volkanovski has, what, 1, 2 more good fights left in his career that we're really going to see Volkanovski in his, not prime anymore. Obviously, Volk's not in his prime, but that last good bit of Volkanovski, we're going to waste it on a fight against Yair Rodriguez, in whom he already beat. He already beat this guy not even 2 years ago. Not even 2 years ago. If anything, you look at Yair Rodriguez's last couple fights, he's come out of a win to a guy who was unranked. A guy who was not even in the UFC. That was his first fight in the UFC. A guy who's literally like 5'2". I mean, it was a close fight. It was back and forth as well. And you look at his fight before that, he lost. He lost to Brian Ortega. Are you kidding me? This guy lost to T-City in the Big 24. It is a joke that this guy is getting a title shot. Don't go to a country if you do not have fighters for that country. We've seen it at UFC 312. The UFC had no fighters available for that card. Don't go to the country if you have no fighters available. You know, it would make sense if Brandon Moreno was still champion. It would make sense if Alexi Grasso was still champion. It would make sense if Yair Rodriguez was still champion. But they're not. They're not champion. And it is a disgrace to say that Movsar Evloev does not deserve a title shot. It is an absolute joke. And it sucks that the UFC is just doing Movsar Evloev dirty because he truly has worked his way up the rankings. He truly deserves a title shot. And Yair Rodriguez, only because he's Mexican, dude. Only because he's Mexican is getting a title shot. We're gonna waste one of Volk's title defenses. We're gonna waste one more good fight. That one last good fight of Alexander the Great Volkanovski's career is gonna be on a guy who's already beat, a guy who does not help his resume whatsoever. It's sad. It sucks. I know, man. And it's really sad that this is how Alexander Volkanovski's career is going to end. You know, what if Yair Rodriguez gets a fluke head kick KO against Volkanovski? What if that does happen? I mean, it's always a possibility in the world of MMA, and that scares me. Yair Rodriguez should not be fighting for a title, and yeah, that's the bottom line. In other news I want to talk about today, I want to talk about Jon Jones, man. I'm sure you guys have seen it. I'm sure you guys have heard about it. Jon Jones is ducking, and it's obvious. It's so obvious. And obviously, this guy has been spamming tweets on Twitter for like the last couple days, and it's making me mad. It's making me mad that Jon Jones thinks that he can just have fun tweeting on Instagram, he can have fun tweeting on Twitter, while Tom Aspinall is losing the prime years of his career. Let's read some of the tweets that Jon Jones put out. I don't know if I want to call it retired. I feel like I've always had an ability to pop up and show him. I've had many breaks throughout my career. My identity outside of fighting is well intact. I'm genuinely enjoying life. I'm growing in different ways. Okay, that's cool. You can do that, but vacate the belt. Strip the belt from Jon Jones. He can do that. He can pop up now and then. He can have a cheeky little fight. He can have breaks, but not when you're the champion of the heavyweight division, and not when you have a clear-cut #1 contender, a clear-cut interim fighter ready to fight you. You have Tom Aspinall, who is losing the prime years of his career to because of you're being a bum. Because you're being a bum, dude. You're being a bum. This guy's riding dudes in Thailand while Tom Aspinall is sitting at home training, putting in work every day. It's a disgrace. The UFC just makes me so mad right now, man. And it sucks that we have to put up with this. It sucks that the UFC is giving us this, and we actually have to be okay with it. We don't have to be okay with it. And us MMA fans should do something about this. We should protest, dude. We should comment on every single post the UFC posts and just spam it. We should report every single post. We should go outside of the PI. We should go outside of the performance center and just protest. We should boycott the UFC because it is a disgrace and it is sad that they are giving this, and we have to pay $80 for a pay-per-view. This is I hate this company right now, man. And that's gonna do it for today's video, and I'll see you boys in the next one, man. MMA Outpost out.